Hey, this is Brindlewolf.
And I'm Lunaria.
You're listening to Rise Awakenings, part of the Rise Radio Network where advice meets action.
We're here to spark your growth, lift your spirit, and help you crush your potential.
Rise Awakenings, hear the call. Through the static, we break the wall. Your nation, your voice, where dreams awaken. Rise Awakening, now is the time.
Rise Awakenings, let's rise together.
It's Brindlewolf and Diane, so listen up if you can. Yeah, journey with them today as they help you find your way. Oh, mental wellness is the topic of the hour. Mental health and the power to tap into our alignments will lead to our refinements. Phoenix Talk, a show like you've never seen. Phoenix Talks, awareness that has never been. Phoenix Talks with Brindlewolf and Diane. Phoenix Talks, so tune in if you can.
Hey everyone, welcome to Phoenix Talks with Brindlewolf and the Rev D.
Hello. That was awesome, by the way. I love the song. I love the video. It's very, very well done.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that was late night, last minute. What am I going to, what are we doing for this song? And it just kind of came to me.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
So
I forgot who came up with the topic tonight.
actually, it's a two-parter because it had been mentioned several weeks ago, which I was reminded of. First time we heard about doing this type of topic was from Karen. And then Lunaria brought it up last week saying that we needed to talk about dealing with intuition.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not her exact wording, but it was, let's talk about it. So, you know, as I was getting the song ready, I'm like, we need to talk about leaning into it.
Yes.
And what does that mean? What does that look like for so many people when they are opening their intuition, when they're starting to listen to themselves? And, you know, whether you call them spirit guides, whether you call it gut instinct, whether you call it wisdom, innate from universe, whatever you want to call it, it's a voice inside your head.
It's definitely in your inner voice. And there's many branches of this too, because it depends on where you are in your journey. And your intuition is going to evolve with you and expand with you. So some folks are still trying to listen to their inner voice and trust that inner voice and stop their human from negating whatever's coming up for them right out the gate, right? That's right. There's a lot of folks still at the place of, well, how do I acknowledge my intuition? The first thing that usually comes to mind is your intuition. The first idea is it. That's the one. Our human almost immediately, no, that's not our, no, right? That's
too often.
Out the gate.
Too often.
Too often. So
it doesn't always work with tests, though.
No.
Because that ran through my head as I was, because I always heard, when you're doing a test, make sure you go with your first answer. And I'm like, that's not always right. No, this is day to day.
Tests are different.
Tests are completely different.
Yes. But then there's also the side, then there's a whole spectrum. So then there's the side of the spectrum where your intuition is evolved with you into that space of you have an easier time of sitting with yourself and opening up to what spirit is trying to tell you, what you're supposed to be receiving divinely, if you will. And so that evolves and expands with you as you heal and open up to more of yourself. So I'm curious to know, like, where's everyone in the comments in their journey towards understanding their intuition? Are we still trying to acknowledge our intuition? Do we listen to our gut, but aren't quite tapped into the other aspects of it? Or are we like tuned into everything and trying to make sense of what we're receiving? So where are we on the spectrum? Because it's a big, huge spectrum and everything that goes in between those.
Let me help them out real quick.
Okay.
And Stephanie Bubble Kittens. Yes, I know. I knew you were going to go there. So the first question to ask yourself and to answer: do you trust yourself?
Yep.
And if you're in the live audience and you want to put a yes or no in the comments, you're more than welcome to. But that's the first question to answer. Do you trust yourself? Do you trust that inner voice? Because that's part of the intuition. That's and do you know the difference between intuition and ego?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's another big branch that we'll probably wind up on at some point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can land on it now if you want, because I think that's just probably where a lot of folks are too, just generally speaking. And what does that ego even look like and mean? Is that human that's telling us, no, you don't know what you're talking about? Or is that our insecurities not letting us believe in ourselves,
Right.
or both.
Is it survival or is it instinct or is it the survival instinct?
It might be all of the above. It really depends on the circumstances and what the situation is. But I think what Micah, you're expressing is that you still have to trust yourself in any of those scenarios.
Yep.
Whatever the specific scenarios are around you believing your intuition has to do with you trusting yourself and trusting that you got your own back and trusting that you know yourself better than anybody else.
We just got a raised eyebrow in the chat. Huh?
Do we not trust I know. What is that? What is the raised eyebrow for? Do we not trust ourselves? Do we not believe in ourselves? What was it?
I'm not exactly sure. It was from what you just said. It's like, huh? I don't know if I get it.
So we do know everything, but we know nothing because there's the human experience here that kind of, and all the programming and things that we've learned throughout life that kind of gets in our way of believing in ourselves. Polyamorous. Sometimes I question whether it is my intuition or my past trauma speaking, but when I bet on the latter, the first option screams dummy. Well, I hope your intuition is much kinder to you going forward.
That's okay. Mine's not either. It's all good, and it's very common. That's so common because it's so easy to call ourselves dumb, stupid, idiot, all of those things when you knew better going into something. You knew something was off. Your intuition was screaming at you and you did it anyway. And then whenever you were exiting out, oh man, do I feel dumb.
So the next time you don't believe in yourself and don't trust that inner voice, this is why. You recall, oh wait, the last time I didn't trust this inner voice and gave in to the trauma aspects of my reaction to this situation, I got myself into more trouble. Right? So that's your proof that you should trust yourself. That's what that is. And sometimes we need that little, cringe trigger ourselves by repeating similar behaviors so that we can be like, oh, all right, enough of this shit.
I mean, once you start getting to the point where you hear your intuition starting to gaslight you and start to say, I told you, don't finish that statement. Don't.
Listen, there's also people like me who know full well this could go very wrong and end very badly, but I feel like I need to learn something. So I'm going to trust that aspect of my voice and go into this knowing that this could be really bad, but I'm going to learn.
There's your raised eyebrow, Stephanie. How many times have we all done that? I know this is not what I'm supposed to do, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Right. And Karen, I'm going to answer you anyway. Your higher self is your intuition. The big S, the higher self is your intuition, guiding you. It's your inner guidance system.
Yes.
It's your inner guidance system that comes from above, spirit, guides, God, whatever you want to label it to. Being gaslit is not on the list. Polyamorous.
Oh my God. I'm going to leave this episode laughing so hard and in pain. I can tell already. Oh my God. We are in a mood tonight, and that's okay because
This is perfect.
you need to take intuition lightheartedly. You really do, because sometimes you don't like what your internal wisdom from your higher self actually knows.
Yeah.
And you need your sense of humor. And absolutely, being gaslit is not on the list for things to get done today. Nope.
Most especially by yourself, because when we don't trust our own intuition, we're gaslighting ourselves into not trusting ourselves. That's really ultimately what it's about. And I feel like trust and intuition go hand in hand.
They do.
And I'm not talking about trusting other people. I'm talking about trusting yourself. That's going to be what goes hand in hand with it.
And Rock and Cherry's intuition scream at each other and make crazy animal growly and snarly sounds. Yes. Yes.
That's funny.
Absolutely.
So I know I'm trying to read the comments too to try to keep up and see if I'm missing anything or we're missing anything. But when it comes to what your intuition sounds like or looks like, or whatever, just it doesn't have to sound like anything. It can come as just a knowing. So like if you're anticipating an actual voice to come in, that's not what we're talking about. Maybe that happens for some people, but that's not the point. The point is that it's this inner knowing, this inner, your heart is trying to tell you something, and that is collaborated and corroborated with your gut.
Yep.
And so knowing something is off with, you could walk into a room, right? And you feel the energy is a little off when you walk into a room, right? That's your intuition telling you someone in this room is stanky.
Yep.
With their energy.
Yep.
And so you don't know right away who it is or what's happening, because you have to kind of, go around the room and talk to people and see who's the stank that you didn't feel right about.
Or instead of, calmly and coyly quizzing everybody, it can be one of those, okay, I need you to, and this is to yourself, I need you to make sure that I am aware of where this energy is coming from when I am close to it. And that's something that's a conversation you can have quietly inside, instead of going from person to person to person, trying to figure out who smells. I mean, if you're close enough to somebody who stinks, you don't know. And
we ain't talking about perfume. We're talking about their energy being ugh.
Or both. It could be both. But a lot of people they're like, how do I trust my gut instinct? How do I trust my intuition? Because it's hard to believe what you can't see, what you can't put into physical. Mm-hmm. You can. And I know one way, if you want to try it. You can do this with your fingers, right? Okay, now lock them.
Yeah, that test, do it.
And actually, next time you're at the grocery store and you see something on sale it's kind of an off-brand, you don't usually buy it. Should I get this just because it's on sale? If your fingers come apart, the answer is no. Mm-hmm. Just because it's on sale doesn't mean that it's the right thing for you. So,
right.
You wait for it to lock, because that's a yes. That means in alignment.
Yeah. And if you're not one of those who that works for, because everyone's got tools that work for them and tools that don't.
Right.
Then if doing something physical doesn't work, then ask yourself again and allow yourself to have your mind completely clear off what your human self is projecting into the situation. So it's almost like give it a clean slate with no judgment on your part, and just allow whatever it is to answer for you. Allow the answer to come to you cleanly without your projected judgment onto it. And that does take some practice and effort. It's not going to be a easy practice, but at the end of the day, if you're reminding yourself that am I projecting any judgments into this situation? Am I putting my personal desires in, or is is something different from this situation that needs to happen. So if you give yourself an opportunity to just clear the noise and the clutter in your head that's trying to have an argument about what the answer is, just say, you know what? Shh, quiet. What is the answer? And what comes to you, that's it.
That's why the song is called Open the Quiet.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that for a minute, because a lot of folks have a lot of trouble with quieting their minds, myself included, when I'm in certain states of being that, I need to recenter myself and reground myself. In order to achieve that inner quiet, we have to, number one, be grounded. And you can do earthing, you can work with crystals, you can do breathing exercises. The Heart Math Institute talks about regulating your nervous system in very quick, in like 3 minutes. So there's science out there and things for you guys to research. So research Heart Math Institute and breathing and what the 3 core elements are for you to quickly regulate your nervous system. Yeah. But it's also very grounding at the same time. It usually always begins with heart-centered breathing. So whatever techniques you choose to use for grounding, make sure that you're grounded. And the second part of that aspect is to sit with yourself. And it's not like when you sit with yourself, all of a sudden things are quiet. It doesn't work that way. But you can help yourself achieve that quiet by putting frequencies into YouTube, YouTube frequency, 528 hertz or something like that. And just let that play in your ears, in your earbuds, so that it helps take the mind off of everyday life, because now there's some noise that your body is busy listening to. So it helps distract. And just focusing on your breath, focusing on that heart-centered breathing, that helps clear your mind. There's also the clear your mind mudra, the hand placement, which looks awkward because it looks like I'm giving you the finger. I've done this once before, but I could do This is the mudra for clearing your mind and allowing yourself to have some quiet time up there in the brain. Is it perfectly quiet?
All 5 fingers have been known to be associated with 5 elements, including the ethereal. Mm-hmm. And that's why your middle finger for most human beings is longer than all of the others, so that it can reach higher than all the others. So it's literally that assistance to connect to the higher self when you are doing that mudra.
Yeah.
Just for explanation for some people.
Yeah.
And quick, before we get too far in the comments, Stephanie, if a binaural or a solfeggio is hurting your ears, you're listening to it too loudly. Take it down to almost inaudible, because a binaural will still create a beat going back and forth without it having to puncture or feel like it's puncturing your eardrums. But if that's occurring and it hurts your ears, you're listening to it too loudly.
Okay, I'm also going to say something controversial and a little woo-woo. So also pay attention to what frequency it is that is hurting, because that's usually where you need to shed light on and show love to. So what body system is that frequency connected to? Is it the crown chakra, the intuition, your third eye, your throat chakra, speaking? This is clarity of mind and clarity of thought. This is your connectedness with your guides and spirit. This is communication related. This is obviously your heart is grief, your lungs, all that's your heart chakra. So like what frequency and what is it connecting to within the body system? You can just Google all this stuff. And then okay, if it's hurting me, then I need to give that more light and love and see what it is about that part of me that needs my attention. So
vibrate your brain. Yes, that is a side effect of it. And I call it a brain massage, and I usually love it. Mm-hmm. But hurting your ears, too loud, and
Low volume.
lower the volume.
Mhm.
And it's not just woo anymore, because they are discovering that certain frequencies of sound are vibrating in certain areas of the body. So they will say, use this specific hertz for the crown, use this specific hertz for the root. And if you then look at where the vibrations are supposed to be taking place, you'll also see what those vibrations are supposed to be helping with. And it lines up with the woo.
Right. You know what? The woo now in 2025 is being scientifically proven. We didn't have the science to back it up before, but we do now. We have the technology now that they have done enough research out there. It's not that hard to find if you know what you're asking. So just asking what frequency hertz align with which body parts and systems, you'll get something. And if that's the wrong question, you'll be inspired to ask another question based on what your search comes up with.
This brings up a whole new category of talking about resonance and what resonates and what doesn't. If you try and listen, like if you take this advice to quiet the mind and go with the binaural or a solfeggio or a soft white noise meditation, whatever that case is, and it hurts your ears or causes something to feel off, it could also be your intuition saying you're not resonating with this because you haven't given yourself permission to trust what's coming out.
That's a good point. It comes right back to trust. Comes right back to trusting yourself. Right?
So chomp on that in your brain. And don't ask me to say it again. You'll have to watch the replay. But yes, if you look at how sound affects water, how it affects, especially when it's frozen.
So there's
sand.
Yes, and there's all kinds of. I mean, ultrasounds are basically using sound. So I mean, your physical therapist, if anyone's ever been to physical therapy, that machine that they use for sound technology, it has a crystal tip, and they're using sound frequency in there. It's the science is there. So the idea is basically to have something else drawing your attention that is not adding more thoughts, but just adding white noise. So listen to an ocean, listen to the sounds of the forest and water. I don't know, find something that's going to be okay with you to have that noise that is white noise that distracts your brain from putting any thoughts together that are going to interrupt what you're trying to do. And I think people can tune into their intuition on demand if they trust themselves enough. And I think it still boils down to trust and the self-trust that you don't have from your traumas that are blocking you from yourself.
And I'll tell you right now, if you want to see it in action, check me out on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do a intuition lightning round when a certain level of likes are presented. And for 5 minutes, people can ask me any question that they want. I'm going to answer rapid fire. And you can see just how quickly your intuition actually works.
Yes. And yes, Stephanie, what science and medical world calls tinnitus is sometimes your downloads, I'm going to call them, from spirit. You don't have to have them they're not in English, but there are frequencies that are basically programming you and updating the software. It's your downloads that you're receiving. Let's talk about why we don't trust our intuition, because I think that's really important to add context here.
Yeah.
With regards to that, because if we want you to tap into your intuition, you have to understand why you're not tapping into it. And obviously that comes back to trauma and being gaslit and being manipulated and being destabilized in unhealthy dynamics and stuff like that make you question everything about yourself. So it's hard to trust yourself when when you don't have that reinforcement and validation externally, and when you have other stories being pushed into you about you not believing, forcing you not to believe in yourself. I'm trying to choose my words carefully and be nice.
Here,
Listen,
here,
the toxicity that you've experienced messed you up. The toxicity that you've experienced basically told you not to trust yourself, because if you did, you'd leave them and not talk to them anymore. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay.
And you also had that voice in your head that said, look where trusting myself got me.
But you didn't trust yourself. You trusted someone else. And I think that's where we get confused. We know better, but we didn't trust ourselves. And so instead of saying, well, okay, next time I'll trust myself, we say instead, well, shit, X, Y, and Z. And now we're reinforcing yet again why we don't trust ourselves. So instead, let's shift our acknowledgement to what came up for us first. And our bodies are telling us, right? We have a physiological response to situations. That's also part of our intuition. Aside from us having that autonomic response to triggers that remind us of traumatic situations, it's still part of our intuition, because it's still part of us saying, like, wait, are we safe here? Hold on. This looks familiar. Walks like a duck, talks like a duck. Is this a duck? Let's check this out. That's all it's trying to do. It's not trying to tell you there's something wrong with you. It's trying to tell you that, hello, we have some information here. Hello.
Meanwhile, they're talking about the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in the chat.
42. Oh, there it is. It's 42.
And don't forget your towel.
You want to talk about some real woo-woo stuff? Why don't you look up the in numerology and in the Fibonacci sequence and in other aspects, what 42 actually, there's actually some kind of little smidgen of truth in there. If you're going to dig a little bit deeper into a rabbit hole, if you're interested.
Always bring a towel. Because you're going to get wet at some point. Or whatever, Oh, look, rabbit hole, bye.
Oh, that's too funny. Okay, so
then I got distracted.
It's okay. I think we were talking about why we don't trust our intuition and what happened that disconnected us from our own. We're never disconnected. We don't disconnect from our intuition.
It gets confused.
We choose to ignore. And that's the survival.
There are people who have the capability, and a lot of people listening right now in live have experienced the human beings who have unfortunately been given the gift of bypassing our own intuition via gaslighting, love bombing. You know what I'm pointing to. Mm-hmm. So that we begin to trust our external truth and not our internal truth. So once we separate from that problem, it becomes difficult without gaslighting ourselves. And those of us who are survivors of those kinds of relationships understand this the most, where we gaslight ourselves more if we don't listen to ourselves and don't trust ourselves, don't trust our intuition. Yeah, I should have gone there, but I didn't. I'm here now. What's going to happen?
Right.
And that's what you're working towards, instead of the other, where I told you so. I told you not to go there. You didn't listen to me, and the internal gaslighting. Right. And Lunaria is like, nah.
Not us. So for those who have had relationships and have toxic people in their life that make them question themselves, understand if it's an intimate relationship, the destabilization happens after the love bombing. So if they start questioning your integrity, criticizing little things, making little jokes, anything like that after the love bombing stage, get the fuck out. Excuse my language. Don't
Truth.
waste time.
Truth.
Okay? Because they're intentionally making you question yourself and creating chaos to destabilize you and control you. So you get disconnected from your intuition because they don't want your radar going off.
Ooh, speaking of download. Okay. When you are not trusting your intuition and you start gaslighting yourself, that's the ego. When your mood, behavior starts to change, that's out of character for you. That's the ego flaring up because you're not listening to your intuition. You're not listening to that internal voice that's gently trying to get you to open your eyes to the situation around you. And when the ego has to take over for survival, that's when you become bitchy, passive aggressive, nasty, moody, grumpy, excessively tired. And that's your sign.
Yeah.
You need
Quiet the mind and listen to yourself. What are you really feeling? I mean, honestly, if we're trying to check in with ourselves, isn't it trying to connect with our intuition? Right? When we check in with ourselves. So, right. Even just checking in with yourself, when you do that heart-centered breathing, when you just breathe, period, and you pause yourself and you breathe, but with intention, not just breathing, just intentionally breathing air into certain places. You can give yourself an opportunity to quiet your mind, because the whole idea is for you to reconnect with yourself or acknowledge yourself and the reality that it is. So you have to be honest with yourself in that moment. How do I really feel? What is my body telling me? What is my mind telling me? What is my emotions telling me? Checking in with yourself, mind, body, and spirit, right? That's going to help you clear the path for the knowing, because it comes in the head, it comes in. I'm reading.
Column A, column B, Carrie. Column A, column B. And another fun test or way that you can tap into your intuition quietly and just do it quietly is when you're cooking and you have a couple ingredients, but nothing else ready. Okay, what can I do with these ingredients? Just literally ask yourself, what can I do with these ingredients? And just listen. And go to your spice rack. Go to the cupboard and just look. I know that Carrie did this once and she figured out she could make homemade hummus out of the ingredients that she had and had something to eat. I don't know why that specific one came to mind, but it did. But literally, I call myself an intuitive cook a lot of times because I'll have certain ingredients and I'll go to my spice cabinet and be like, okay, what do I want to put on this? That, okay. And that, okay. And then when I'm adding it to the food, how much? We'll tell you. And you literally just enter that quiet moment while you're cooking.
Rock and Cherry said neuro spice rack. I like that. I might have to borrow that.
Excuse me, I need to go to my neuro spice rack.
You just sprinkle that sugar on, honey, until spirit tells you not to. I'm Italian. We don't use recipes. We add until my ancestors tell me not to.
Oh, polyamorous. As far as spring seasonal deep cleaning, go back and re-listen to the collective on Monday.
So ask us what it is that you're struggling with your intuition. Let's go there so that we have specific where to go, because we can go in any direction, and your inner knowing is everything. So what direction do you need assistance with?
Yeah. And while you're coming up with that, every human being on the face of this planet has a universal gift of intuition, inner wisdom. Every single one. It's not something that you're separate from. It's not something that you have to seek. It's something that you allow, that you lean into. If you want to. I mean, you can, if you want to fight it, go ahead. Let me know how that works.
It don't work.
Tell my intuition what I need to do to fix my life. It's pointing you into the direction. It's a matter of whether or not you are allowing yourself the discomfort of what it's pointing you towards. And that's another reason why people don't like to lean into their intuition. They're like, no. And you resist it.
So ask the question of, or some variation of, what is the next step that I need to take to get myself to my fullest potential? Where does my focus need to be next, specifically? So you can ask specific questions. You can ask questions and allow the answer to be received. But again, don't forget, give yourself an opportunity to get your programmed mind out of the way and just let an answer come without judgment. So you have to get rid of that judgment, because if you're not trusting yourself, you're judging yourself. Trust requires you to stop judging.
And no offense, Karen, I'm not jumping down that rabbit hole.
Well, that's a whole show in and of itself that isn't really helping anyone with themselves and their growth and evolution. It's a different kind of conversation altogether. So that might be a different show.
Maybe after Christmas. Let's get through presents first. Because there is another gift that keeps on giving. Anyway. But Luna brought up a good point. Other people saying that they think they're supposed to hear a voice other than their own in their head, so they don't realize what they're hearing. They don't realize what it is. But I'll tell you that most of my external guidance that I hear, the voices that I hear in my head, they're just different versions of my own voice.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's all you.
It's all you.
Mm-hmm.
Extensions of you that you hear. Unless you have an angel walking with you, and that's another show.
So Rock and Cherry has a very specific question. If my intuition keeps telling me to do something that I'm neither qualified for nor financially able to enact, shouldn't I just ignore it before it gets me into big trouble? No, Rock and Cherry, what you can do is ask for, what is the next step I can take towards that? What is available to me to do right now? Even if it's an inside job, even if it's a shifting a mindset and healing an emotion that might be blocking you from and keeping you in the limited belief of I can't. Right? Because you're shutting yourself down before you give yourself a chance to even take a step towards it. Because you're judging it and putting it into a box and saying, well, I don't have these two things in place, so therefore it's a null and void. When the reality is, well, it's not null and void. It just might take a bit to get there. Just take a step. That's all. Whatever that step looks like. Even if it's like one phone call, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Just one thing every day, and you'll get there eventually. One thing every day will get you there. Nothing every day will get you nowhere.
Yep. And living in a mindset of, I can't afford this. Instead of, how is it that I'm able to afford? Because then you're pushing your subconscious, your intuition to look differently. Because if you're constantly looking towards, I can't, then that's what you're asking. I can't afford. You're making a statement, closed deal, done. Can't do it. But if it's something that your intuition is pushing you towards, okay, you're giving me these ideas.
Right.
You're pushing this wisdom up for me to acknowledge and notice. How is it that I'm going to be able to get to that?
Mm-hmm.
And then you will start opening up the doors for more information to come in.
That one. And speaking of opening up doors, because that's super important, if you erase the judgment and the limitations, you might actually open yourself up to something unfolding in your experience to allow you the opportunity to take a step. So when you shut it down immediately, you're shutting down even the potential of it unfolding for you in your experience. How do you know you can't afford it? How do you know next week you're not going to have another 10 grand in your bank? How do you know?
I'm not repeating that.
Wait, what? Oh, Jesus, no.
Fired. Rockin' Cherry, you're fired.
Okay.
I mean, thank
We're
you for
back.
the setup for us to be able to have that conversation, but where it was leading to, you're fired.
Right. Oh my God, that's funny.
Oh, don't you blame her. Oh, no. That was
I'm
planned.
just-
That was premeditated.
Mm-mm.
And I love you.
Well.
Wow.
Okay. Yes, trust is a deep leap of faith for sure. And it isn't.
Go ahead.
I was going to say it is important to have that leap of faith because you have to trust yourself. All of this goes back to trust and rebuilding and empowering yourself to believe in yourself again and giving yourself little acknowledgments. Because I think that we kind of ignore our intuition to the point where we dismiss everything that we think of. And so one of our biggest hangups and sabotage is that we don't acknowledge ourselves. We don't acknowledge what actually our intuition did give us. Right? Yeah. It's almost time
honestly,
too.
what you said, which unfortunately I'm not going to share what it was, but what it was that you were toying with us about is quite real. And that is what causes people like Karen was referring to in the comments earlier. That's what leads to that happening. But unfortunately, we have duality.
Mm-hmm.
And there has to be a balance in that duality. I don't like it. We don't like it.
Right. So I think that when you learn how to trust yourself, you naturally raise your self-worth. Voluntary adult work. What is? I was referring to. Oh, okay. Polyamorous said, honestly, somewhat painful stuff about realizing my self-worth. Yeah. So when your intuition is telling you something about your self-worth, listen to it, whether it's a kind voice or not, because at the end of the day, it's highlighting what you need to give more love to and compassion to and understanding and empowerment to within yourself. Ultimately, the idea is to return to love, return to compassion, return to a state of peace and joy, because that's our natural state of being. And we're not going to get there if we don't trust ourselves and de-gaslight ourselves from all the lies that we've absorbed about us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for what the Rev D and I do, it takes a lot of trust.
Yeah.
We have to trust ourselves in order to make the impact that we are called via our intuition, via what we're pushed to do, listening to those voices from our own wisdom. So that, and I'm watching the time, so I'm using this as a segue, so that she can offer.
Thank you. Healing Rose, healingrose.org. Visit my site, book a free discovery call if you want to dive in a little deeper and see if that's something that you want to do. And find me on social medias, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I'm not very active on social media yet. Work in progress. Slow, very slow.
When
In
she
its own
trusts
divine
herself
timing.
more, she will.
I do. Once I explode, I'll explode on social media. But for now, I'm still kind of tiptoeing around it. But healingrose.org is the best way to reach me, and just shove yourself on my calendar and we'll all be good.
10-minute coffee talk on her.
That's it.
To find out if you align with her, if she aligns with you, to continue the conversation. And if you're looking for a gift for somebody or yourself for the holidays this year, check out my book, Untriggered, Path to Owning Your Own. I can't even say it right now. The Phoenix Path to Owning Your Own Fire. There we go. That's what it is. Thank you, Ember Forge, for helping me create such a long title for my book. Anyway, but it's still available over on Amazon, and also my website, untriggered.net, if you are interested in getting one-on-one services with me, and you want to schedule it for after the holidays, do it now, because after the holidays, pricings are going to change.
Do it now.
Yeah,
Do it now.
You can schedule it for after, but get it in now if you are looking to work more with me directly. And if you aren't already in the Facebook group for Rise Awakenings, we are expanding. I'm already talking to other possible DJs and hosts to create new shows. And I know that Rev D at the beginning of the year is going to be adding her own to the lineup once we get everything worked out. But right now, we got those 6 days a week. So
it's happening.
If you're not part of that group, then you want to. And also, for submissions, we have 3 rooms on the Line app. We have the Messengers, Brindle's Vision, and a third one that I just created for original music. If you have original songs that you own the copyrights to or want to share, then we will be able to play them on any of these shows, especially the ones that are that aren't Messengers or Brindle's Vision. So all of the others will be able to play them on and share them on all of the iHeartRadio podcasts, Amazon, Apple, Spotify, without any copyright issues. So I just wanted to make that announcement as well, because that is brand new to Rise Awakenings this week. With that,
that's amazing. I see. Find us, because we have a lot of information to share, and there's a lot of information that we've shared in the past. So start actively listening if you haven't already. And Karen, I see what you're asking. Of course, she's teasing, but she's asking tea instead of coffee. Also okay, but I actually have a tidbit on that. Caffeine calcifies your pineal gland, and that is associated with your intuition and your third eye. So minimize your coffee intake. I also am a culprit for drinking coffee. It's the coffee caffeine, not tea. The tea caffeine is much better. So if you're talking about trying to access your intuition, try getting off of coffee caffeine for a couple of months and see if that helps you.
I don't think anybody wants to be around me if I get off coffee caffeine. Not for a while. I don't think I'd want to be around myself.
Listen, I drink espresso because it has less caffeine. So it does. I know. You wouldn't think so because it's stronger, but the reality is it's roasted longer and processed differently. So it is less caffeinated than regular coffee.
Sure. Okay. Non-believers be gone. Okay.
Okay, I know. We could play all night.
We really could. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. While I'm bookending the song so that you can get a different feel for it if you didn't get it the first time or if you missed the opening. But while we're replaying that, if you have a suggestion for next week's topic, go ahead and type it in the chat and we will collect it after the show is over. Until next week, have an amazing night.
And tune in.
We'll see you tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the next episode of The Core.
The Core.
Friday night, we'll be back also at 11 a.m. Eastern with Luna. Yes. So have an amazing night. Love yourselves.
We love you.
Trust yourselves.
Trust yourself.
It's Brindlewolf and Diane, so listen up if you can. Yeah, journey with them today moments, they help you find your way. Oh, mental wellness is the topic of the hour. Mental health and the power to tap into our alignments will lead to our refinements. Phoenix Talks, a show like you've never seen. Phoenix Talks, awareness that has never been. Phoenix Talks with Brindlewolf and Diane. Phoenix Talks, so tune in.